Hello guys, how are you? My name is Hardik and I am a business management consultant helping small and medium sized business owners operate systematically by adopting processes in their company. Some of you who are watching this video and are a part of my Facebook group, I promised you guys after the last fiasco that we had because of poor sound quality of the Facebook live video. Here is the recorded version to cover the points that you probably did not get in the last video. So I'm going to make it brief and I'm going to summarize. So I'm not going to go question by question, challenges by challenges, ideas by ideas, and I'm going to do a broad summarization of the whole thing. So I received a lot of challenges, a lot of questions, a lot of ideas, a lot of suggestions, but predominantly this is what I think all of us must do. Number one, do not rely on somebody else getting things done for you. So yes, the government is there, yes, RBI is there, but do not rely on them to find solutions to our problems. Reason being, we are not a very big country. We are not the US or Australia or UK or Europe for that matter to be able to incentivize. Some people are even saying after that call also, there were some people who were not very happy with the government just delaying the taxes, income tax filing, and not really asking people not to pay any taxes at all. My dear friend, we cannot do that. We are a growing, developing nation. If we don't pay the government the taxes, how are they going to run the police department? How are they going to run the government hospitals? And all of this at this point in time is very, very required. So my strong suggestion is, do not rely on everybody else or anybody else for that matter for the sustenance of your business. We have to take charge of what is happening right now and be able to move things ahead for the betterment and whatever we could do in our capacity. So it's us who is that somebody. Nobody else is going to come to our help. Second thing that I want to mention is RBI had announced incentive. In fact, they have eased out the credit line that the banks are supposed to be given. I would suggest all the small and medium sized enterprises to speak to your banks and get that credit line for yourself. Whether you think you need it or you think you don't, try and see if you can extend your OD limits, if you can extend and get yourself some loan, because when you need it, if the funds are not there with the bank, you are not going to get it. So keep it with you for any requirement that you may have. I know this is a very odd suggestion that I'm giving, but this is the truth. I want all of you to be safe. So have some money in hand. Third thing, this is a time for you to protect your customers and protect your vendors, protect your employees. So if you're thinking on the counts of, okay, whether I should pay my employees in full or not pay my employees in full, my answer is, if you have the money to pay them, don't think of what is going to happen tomorrow. They are your employees. You are able to think today as an entrepreneur simply because they are working for you. This is not the time to cut cost, at least not by not giving them salaries. So if you have the money, you by all means should give it to them. This is the time when everybody's leadership is going to be exposed. Everybody's business models are going to be exposed. Your leadership is also going to be exposed. So do not become miser and not pay them simply to hold money when you have it and not pay the salaries. So I would suggest pay them the salaries. In an event where you do not have enough money, in that case, call your team up, talk to them, and tell them the facts, and then decide as a team on how you want to go ahead. Don't take unilateral decisions. So you don't take decisions and give it to your team. Guys, we need to all come together as a company, and you got to talk to your team, tell them the facts, and I'm sure every one of them will stand by you. And if they don't, it's a realization that you haven't created a team in the first place. So do that. You got to protect your vendors. Vendors means anybody who's supplying raw material to you, anybody who's providing any form of services to you, anybody who's doing logistics for you, anybody, your CSs, you got to protect them. You got to call them up and protect them, because without vendors, even if you survive as a business during the lockdown, but your vendors don't, you will have a struggle coming back to where you were before the lockdown. So you got to protect your vendors. You got to protect your customers. So start talking to the customers and understand what they want and see how much of what they want you can fulfill. That does not really mean that you have to give them monies, but just help them in whatever form or shape you can. You survive as a business because there is an ecosystem that's there. There are customers in that ecosystem, there are employees in that ecosystem, there are vendors in that ecosystem. All of these guys, or any one of these guys, if become weak, your business survival is going to become tough. So pay people up, call them up, show you care, and just don't show it for the sake of it. Genuinely care. Another thing that I want to say, which is very, very important, is it is time to go from physical to digital. Trust me, guys, even if the lockdown is lifted on the 15th, it's not going to be lifted straight away. We may have a slope. When I say a slope, what I mean is it may gradually get lifted. When I say gradually get lifted, we may still have restrictions of operating at 50% capacity or 30% capacity or whatever that number the government decides. When that happens, you've got to be ready. So anybody who can work on a phone and a computer in your office, you need to make sure that they operate from home. Now, I know a lot of people here are thinking that, oh, you know what, there is no work, so why are we even thinking on those lines? Boss, but when the work will come, if you're not ready, you are going to be preparing that time, and people who are ready are going to take that business away from you. So this is the time when you got to think of how you can have your entire team work from home, which are operating from phone and computers, and you are able to manage them. So it's the time to go digital in that context. People who are working from factories, make sure you do shifts so that you can manage the workload, and do not forget the sanitization methods that I mentioned in my first video in this series, and I will link it somewhere in the description box, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it will appear somewhere on the top. Watch that video. There are some sanitization methods that I have mentioned about. You could use that, you could improvise on those methods, share with us also, and we'll take it up from there. What can you do today with your customers? That was also one of the very, very big questions that kept coming. Well, I would say this is a time for you to call up your customers and understand how they see the situation. If they see the situation in bad light, you know that they have evaluated certain things, and if it falls in that way, they are not going to buy from you. If they are all mighty relaxed, but you don't see it in that way, chances are they will be surprised, and that impact will come on you. So try and sensitize people on that. Last but not the least, very, very important and critical thing, please stop consuming a lot of content on what is happening on coronavirus. Everything that all of us needed to know, we already know. We don't need to equip ourselves with more information. Stop watching the news channel because you're sitting at home. The only thing that you do is watch news channels, look at WhatsApp, look at YouTube. Even if you look at YouTube and stuff, even if you go and switch on your television, do not look at coronavirus news. You will be tempted to look at. I know some of my friends have opened up those trackers and they keep refreshing it and say, oh, you know what, this is the latest number. There is no point in doing that. It's not adding any value to your life. The only thing that it's doing is adding garbage in your head, and you're only going to get stressed. There's nothing that you can do with the numbers increasing or decreasing. So why watch it? Watch something that is more sensible, that is going to help you prepare for your future post the lockdown. So stop doing that. It will be nice if you could have a Spock designated in your company who would validate all of this information and drive this behavior in your company as well. Now, the last Facebook Live was a fiasco. I'm sorry for that. The volume was really bad, but that does not keep me away from trying the Facebook Live. So, I am going to come on Facebook Live again, and you are going to see me there, and we are going to keep exchanging thoughts over Facebook. Now, until we meet next time, I took some time to come and do this video simply because I was creating some online courses. I know a lot of you will need to change the way you conduct business today, and that change, how do you go about making? I have created a crash course, so it's not a very long course. I have cut down on all the theoretical aspects, and I've only kept things which are absolutely required. So I'm going to make an announcement of when that crash course is happening. There is another course that we are about to build, which is on tools, free tools that you could use to get up in your business and train your team on it as well. So that course is also in the pipeline. And there is one more course that I'm wanting to do, which is solving problems. I know a lot of you may end up getting into problems when the lockdown is lifted and you come back to the business, and it's extremely important for you to solve that problem in the right way. Gut feeling based decisions which are knee jerk reactions are not going to help you. So I will try and put a course on that as well. All of these courses are not going to be long ones. These are going to be quick courses that you can take very quickly, understand things and implement it. With all of these courses, I'm going to allow a free Q&A session number of times, so you can attend the Q&A sessions and clarify your doubts as many times you want. This is my way of helping all of you fine guys propel and sustain and grow in your business irrespective to COVID. Let's disinfect our business from this virus. Until we meet next time, guys, keep healthy, keep safe, and keep propelling.